All right, this is it. This is the Expedition Truck Camper. All right, this is it. This is the Expedition Truck Camper. You don't see many of these in the UK, but I'm just going to give you a full walkthrough of what this looks like inside and exactly why I've bought it. As of right now, this is just a truck camper, but soon it will be my home, my office, and my adventure rig on wheels. This summer, we're going to be taking it through some crazy adventures into many different countries as a shakedown for what is going to come next year. So trust me when I say big things are coming, because this truck and this camper is on some journey. Let's have a look. All right, let's start with the boring details. The truck is a Toyota Hilux. These are known for being super durable, almost impossible to break. So I'm hoping mechanically that this is the truck that will take us to the end destination next year. In terms of upgrades, I've put in a new head unit, which allows us to have Apple Play, Google Maps, all of the good stuff. In the back, we've taken out the two back seats to allow for some more storage, which allows the camper to be a bit more free, and anything that we don't need day to day can be thrown into the back here. In terms of driving, when the camper is on, the driving is obviously a little bit slower. The camper itself weighs about 600 kilos, so fuel economy is a little bit less. Steering is a little bit heavier. Other than that, there's not really any noticeable difference when the truck doesn't have the camper on versus when the truck does have the camper on. All right, let's go back outside. Back outside the truck, we've done a few things aesthetically which I wanted to do, and they make no real difference to the camper, the truck, or anything like that. We put limousine tint on the back windows just to give that a bit more privacy, because there is only storage in there. We put the wind deflectors on, mostly so I can crack the window and not have that horrific noise, but also because I think they look a little bit better. We put the small wheel arch trims on, which again, I just think the black ties in nicely with the white truck. In terms of wheels and tires, we've just got standard stock 17-inch Toyota Hilux wheels, and they are on the Toyo Open Country all-terrain tires. I've had the BFG KO2s and the KO3s. These get as good reviews for half the price. They're on a 265 65 17. I think they look really cool. They're a bit beefy, they're a bit rugged, and I think they fit the truck really, really well. Recovery and also kind of like livability. We've got a set of max tracks, so not only will they help with the truck being level if I'm parked somewhere that is not level, but they are also a recovery board, so if I get stuck in any soft sand, mud, whatever it might be, then they will also be deployed. All right, that's the outside of the truck. Let's get into the cabin and show you the best bit. All right, this is the humble abode. This is what the back of the cabin looks like. And first off the bat, you'll notice I'm 6'1", and the height space I've got in here is incredible. I think you could probably be 6'3", 6'4", and you would probably just touch. And that was one of the biggest selling points for me, was the ability to be able to stand up whilst also still having a lot of moving space is insane. First thing you'll notice is the kitchen. So we've got a 2-burner hob, generous sized sink, decent faucet, loads of storage up here. We've also got a cutlery drawer, and then 2 extra drawers down here. Also have a place for hats, some tea towels, different things like that. But this is an incredible space for cooking and allows me to do a lot more things than the single burner hob I had in the old truck. So behind the kitchen, we have a mirrored fridge, which is massive, got a ton of space. I could probably fit a week's worth of food in there and we'll be totally fine. There is a full-size wardrobe, which at the moment has shelves in it. We are probably likely to use this cupboard for our new upgraded electrical system, just because we've got quite a few big things that need to be fitted in one place. This is probably the spot going to be for it. Underneath the fridge, we've got a large drawer, and then we've also got a large storage cabinet unit, whatever you want to call it, that will fit a ton of stuff in. We're now in the dining room, the living room, whatever you want to call it, in this really small cabin. However, this is one of the biggest selling points for me, was the ability to have somewhere to sit down, somewhere to socialize, to make meals, to eat with friends, whatever it might be. And this huge table can fit 6 people around it. So 2 people here, 2 people behind, and then 2 people over. One of the other points was this table. This is one of the tables that kind of just like floating, and I can kind of sit, kind of sit wherever I want and have it in any direction. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, if I'm cooking, if I'm editing, if I'm working, whatever it might be, this table will suit that need. The space in here is so hard to fathom until you've actually been inside it, but I promise you when I say 4 people, 4 large adult humans can sit around this area and it not feel cramped or closed in or like you've not got enough space. This thing in here is like a TARDIS. On the opposite side of the diner, on this wall, we have light switches, we have a diesel heater and thermometer, we have a USB charging point, and then we have this retro old school original radio that actually still works. One of the other things that's really cool about this truck is that the storage seems to be endless. And there's more than enough storage across here and across here for all of my clothes, all of my belongings, and everything that I'll need for the biggest trip of my life. One of the things that I love most about the truck is the natural light that you get from these 2 huge windows on either side. They are the safari style Dometic windows, and they normally work.
1 hour later.
Here we go. They normally work. They come with the complete blackout blind, and then they've also got the bug net on the other side too. One of the other huge selling points of this camper is that it's a full-size double bed. I'm 6'1", I'm nearly 100 kilos, and this bed is, I literally could probably roll over 4 times. I'm not actually sure. 1, 2, okay, maybe 4 was an exaggeration, 2.5 times. However, I'm a pretty big dude, and this bed feels super spacious, doesn't feel like I'm cramped, not gonna have to sleep diagonally, so actual sleeping quality should be really good. Also, another great feature about this bed area is that it has 2 of its own windows up top. In terms of water, I have 2 15-litre water jugs underneath this bench that will allow me to use the sink, make a cup of tea, those types of things. In terms of power, I have a 110 watt solar panel on the roof and a 100 amp hour battery underneath my bum. All right, that's pretty much it. That's the cabin in its entirety, that's the truck in its entirety, and I'm so excited to get this thing on the road for the summer. There's a few things that we're gonna do before I leave. I'm completely upgrading and overhauling the electrical system, so new solar's going on the roof, a new inverter's going in, new battery storage, which basically is gonna mean that I can stay off-grid for longer. The inverter will power an air fryer, it will power an induction hob, give me the complete freedom to go wherever I want without having to worry about electricity or power. There are a few cosmetic changes that I will make as well. Unfortunately, the dreadlocks are gonna have to go, the blue carpet's gonna go, and if I do get time before I leave this summer, then the upholstery is gonna get changed too. However, mostly I'm just super thankful to Chris and to Erica for looking after this thing for the last 20 years. And I'm so excited to see what we can do this summer and hopefully take it to some places that not only have I've ever dreamed of, but they did too.